Here we go, Lauren! Okay, you guys, I can't believe it, but Lauren Lease is here with us in our office, and we are gonna talk about her amazing bedroom. And it's not your bedroom anymore.
Not anymore.
Oh, but it's so amazing. When did you move? You just moved.
So I moved about, let's see, a month ago. So.
Moved with a baby. Moved with a baby and did a renovation.
Yeah, it's a little crazy. We have three boys, and then we have the girl, and then we're kind of under construction now.
No, so when we moved back from Austin, we did the exact same thing, renovation with a baby, and then just to add a little interest, I decided that I was pregnant. Didn't know it. 12 weeks pregnant. Didn't know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Ladies, don't follow in my footsteps. So yeah, so I know exactly where you are. It's kind of a nightmare, but let's talk about this amazing bedroom. So how long did you live here? Like, how long did it take for this bedroom to evolve?
So it took about a year. We kind of finished our house in the first year, and then just sort of left it as it was we were there for 3 full years. So I had 2 years of peace.
Wait, you did this? You did all this? All of this was done like instantly?
Yeah, I went after it really quickly because I was hoping to kind of make my house sort of like a show house, shoot it, get it published in a magazine, and put it in our portfolio to kind of help with business and that kind of thing. So we
Brilliant.
did it really quickly.
No, okay, well now I have even more respect for Lauren. That is amazing. This looks like it evolved over years and years and years. Love.
Yeah.
So this is why I really wanted to show you all Lauren. First of all, she is an amazing designer that I'm sure you all already know. She has a book that just came out called Habitat, but she also has the most insane fabric line, and we will get to that in a minute. But I think that Lauren is so talented mixing textiles, and I loved this room because it was a beautiful play on neutrals, but it didn't feel bland. And one of the things that I really wanted to show people was this amazing installation that you did over your bed. So that's really interesting that this just happened right away. Did you have all of these pieces collected over the years?
So I had some of them collected. I love botanicals. I'm obsessed with them. So whenever I find one that I can afford, I just buy it and just figure I'll find somewhere to put it later.
Totally.
So I had from over the years, but then I knew that I wanted to sort of take over the entire wall.
Right.
So I started shopping on eBay and Etsy and just different websites, and tried to get as many as I could that I loved. And then there was still room at the top, which I had planned on just sort of adding to over time.
Right.
Just sort of like a relaxed stopping point. I was just going to keep on going.
You know what though? But I like that jagged edge.
I thought it worked.
Well, but to me it almost looked like like a horizon line, like a mountain line. I mean, it kind of kept that whole organic thing going. I really loved that. But okay, so that's a great tip, Lauren. And we say this all the time to our readers: is collect things from many different vendors. Don't just do the one-stop shop. And so did these come framed, or did you frame most of them yourselves? Because I love how the mats, I thought it was very beautiful that you made one of the uniting qualities, this really beautiful neutral matte instead of a dead white. That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you. Yeah, some of them came framed, a couple of them, but for the most part, I framed them. So I would take all of the pieces from one collection, like there's the Carl Blossfield sort of photography prints that you can see throughout.
Yes.
I would do everything from one collection, perfectly matching, and then sort of split it up and break it out throughout the whole arrangement.
Okay, so you guys see what she did? I mean, that's really beautiful, and I love how these right here are a pair, and then you've got the others slightly staggered.
Yeah.
So I think it's really cool too, what we were just saying that Lauren did is sometimes people just always default to the white matte.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I love it that Lauren, used, it was almost like a little bit of crew, right?
Yes, it is, yeah.
So it's beautiful. And then what she did was, if you can see, I mean, there's just this subtle geometry to what she did. So it's it looks like, Lauren, that you made the bed the jumping off point, and then kind of built that beautiful triangle up from the bed, and then did you just kind of spread out from there?
Yeah, so I actually started with like little sketches of all of the pieces on a piece of paper, and I just like drew my bed in.
Oh.
And I just kind of put them, and then I didn't put them in the exact places that I'd sketched out, but it gave me an idea of sort of how many I needed and, you know, where they'd go. And so I started with that little, that's actually a little antique clock, little stopwatch in the very center.
I love it. I love it.
It was like so random, but I loved it too. And so just kind of started there, and then, you know, I always like to take pairs and separate them and sort of build up and out.
Right. It's so beautiful, and that's a great tip. So, I mean, that's smart, just to sketch it out on a piece of paper. And that's the thing too, I think so often people are afraid to do your own drawing at home, but really all you need to do is just get a ruler and do just kind of a 1/2 inch scale, don't you find?
Yeah, and I'm kind of like lazy when it comes to finding the ruler and all of that, so I just sort of like did it generally, and then I cut them out into little, like I cut all the pictures out into little tiny, so it was good for the scissors. I was okay getting the scissors.
Paper dolls, girl! I love paper dolls!
The ruler was just too much, and so I just cut them out and then kind of like played with them and played with different arrangements. So it was movable.
So you want to hear what's bonkers about what you just said? So we, in the buying guide, found a bunch of images, you know, a bunch of pieces of art that are similar to what Lauren had, and now you guys, they're to scale. They can cut them out, play with them on their own wall, and I didn't even know that Lauren did that, but now they can be you! Yay! No, that's really cool. That's great.
Yeah.
No, that makes it so easy. Okay, so talk about this amazing bed. Where did you find that?
So my husband found that on the side of the road. It was being thrown, like given away or thrown out. So we found that probably 7 years ago at our last house, and he called me and was like, I found this bed, do you want it? I'm like, yes. So it's actually a double headboard, but we have a queen bed attached to it.
What?
And it worked.
I love that. I never would have thought of that. That is so smart. So that, guys, that's a double bed with a queen mattress. Do you want to high five real quick?
With my man
Yeah,
hands?
bam, yeah, my man hands. No, that's, Lauren, that is such a great tip. I don't think anyone would have thought to do that. And you know, it's funny, so my husband, when he comes home, brings like old oil tanks and is like, I'm gonna turn it into a grill. I want my husband to be like, I found a bed. Like something that I want to keep, not an oil drum.
But you can eat meat off of what he brings home. That's great.
Meat from the grocery store. It's not like he's like, you know, slaying the bears. Genius. And I'm glad you wrote a book. I would have said right now you should write a book, but you already did. Okay, so here's the other thing that I love. You guys have heard me say it a million times. I think it is so chic to have end tables that are not matchy-matchy. And I love pulling a chair up to the bed like this. I just think it feels so casual and effortless, but chic. Where did you find these two pieces on either side of the bed?
So the piece on the right is actually a new piece that looks old, and then the piece on the left is actually an old piece. It's a marble top.
Wow.
Yeah, and the chair is by my friends Brooke and Steve Giannetti. I love that chair. I'm actually sitting in it right now.
This slip-covered chair right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, super comfortable.
Brooke and Steve Giannetti, we're gonna give you a massive shout out right now. Love. And then so this table on the end, that's just a reproduction, the one on the right?
It is, and I cut it down. It's a dresser, and I actually cut it about 3 inches to get it to almost the same height as the other piece, so that there's a little bit more balance. So, a little high.
So smart. So do you just cut the legs off a little?
Yeah, they stuck up about this much from the ground, and now they just stick up, they're like little nubs on the ground.
Pay attention, Lauren's dropping big nuggets of gold, girl. That's so smart. And then everything else will also, we should talk a little bit about your styling, because these pieces just feel like treasures that maybe you inherited or collected over time. And that's another thing that we're always encouraging you guys to do, is find that special thing. Find the pieces that are meaningful, and it does look like it evolved more naturally, rather than going into a big box store and being like, I'll have the bedroom, you know?
Right, right.
Okay, so we gotta get to the one of my most favorite things are the textiles. So
okay.
these are out of Lauren's brain. So hit me with it, girl, go for it. Let's talk about this beautiful pattern that's on the foot of the bed.
So that one is Fern Star, and clearly I'm obsessed with ferns. You know, they're all over the walls. The outdoor garden that was open up to the room has, like I planted, filled it with fern. So I just, it's just one of my favorite plants. I actually have a few textiles that feature ferns, but this one is called Fern Star, and it's just sort of ferns like splayed out into big star patterns. And so we put it on the duvet.
I love it. And I love it that you mixed it with this. Is this a vintage, this bolster? Where did you find that?
So that was actually an eBay find, yeah. And my dog loves it.
Little Ashby, who coordinates.
She does. It's perfect size for her. And she's on, I don't know if you can see them, but she's on what I call squid flower. And so it's just like, it almost looks like a pineapple. It's not a real flower. It's just sort of a doodle, and I really loved it. So it looked kind of like a squid and kind of like a flower.
So are most of these textiles based off your doodles?
You know, I do not consider myself an artist at all. I have my tongue out when I'm drawing.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm concentrating and it doesn't come easily. So if something I'm drawing comes out a little bit like what I was imagining it would come out as, then I typically will use it and put it into a pattern.
Okay, well, I don't believe you that you're not an artist, because I'm looking at your art in your room. You are a 3D artist, but I get what you're saying. I know what you mean. Like, sketching sometimes feels like you're using a different piece of your brain, right?
It doesn't come easily to me. I can't just picture something and draw what I picture. I try, but it doesn't always come out that way. So.
Well, you would never know, and her fabric really is beautiful, and we'll show you all that in a minute. But the other thing that, one of the reasons that I wanted you guys to see this room too, Lauren, I'm just gonna go down to the third slide. So this is what Lauren was talking about, this beautiful view out of her room with all of these great ferns. And her bedroom is very neutral, like we just talked about, and there really isn't any color introduced besides this gorgeous outdoor view, which to me feels like one of the key players, right? Right? And I love, so now when you're looking at this elevation above her bed, she has been able to bring the outdoors in using black and white photography and sketches and botanicals. That is so hard to do, you guys, from her, I really did. When I saw that, I was like, that's a smart cookie. And I love that it's really amazing that you gave this feeling of the outdoors in without introducing the usual greens and color in the space. It was so smart. And that's what I was saying too, even this jagged edge at the top up here really did remind me of, a hillside or a horizon line. So, love. Okay, Lauren, are you ready to show them your amazing bathroom?
Yes. Okay, so
here we go. Oh, it's amazing. So simple, so simple. So this is what I love, and I was telling my team, I love it that you did just the really simple chrome shower curtain rod instead of fussing with the big deal of glass. I think it just feels so casual, so relaxed, and P.S. so inexpensive, right?
When we sold our house before we put it on the market, we actually popped glass doors in, and I was so sad to see them. But I felt like the normal buyer would want doors, not a shower curtain. So we loved it just because when it was open, it felt like one big room. It was a really tiny space, so that helped us. But yeah, and then now there's glass on there.
Well, I love it. It feels very European. Yeah. I think it's so beautiful. And then, I've talked about this a ton with our readers. In fact, we have a Lowe's bathroom up right now, and I've talked a lot about brass fixtures. And what Lauren did, which is what I have been encouraging everyone to do, is buy, if you're gonna do brass, you buy the best you can afford.
Absolutely, yep.
Right? Because that Miami Vice brass that we have all seen, it does not stand the test of time, but this brass, you know, it's gonna age well, it's beautiful, so follow Lauren's lead, and she picked gorgeous brass fixtures. And do you want to share who you used?
I'm trying to, I think that was I want to say, oh my gosh, it was like weird. I want to say it was California Faucets or Citadel. I might be mixing up the two, one of those. And then the one on top with the brass and the porcelain is actually vintage. I think that was maybe like period bath supply, or I think that might have been it.
It stops my heart. It stops my heart. It's so beautiful. And then just putting that cute little teak bench in there just kind of draws your eye right in. And I think so often people, you know, you can make your bathroom feel like a spa by just bringing in accessories like that. You don't have to rip it out and build a bench in there. You can use what you have, and I love that you pulled that in like that.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And even down to the black floor, Lauren, and then the black grout on the subway, so easy to clean, right?
It was so maintenance free.
Yeah.
Except for toothpaste.
Except for what?
Like 3 boys like exploding toothpaste everywhere. That showed up, but it was pretty good.
I've decided that there's really nothing that can ever hide the fact that we have kids.
Yeah, there isn't.
So you just make beautiful bones, and then you embrace the chaos, right? There's nothing.
Yeah,
There's nothing.
Wash the trash.
Yeah. Whatever. I'm gonna make them pay me back one day and be like, hey, remember that sofa that you got M&Ms all over? Start babysitting and pay me back. Okay, let's talk about these amazing textiles. So here we have, this is the Fern Star that Lauren was talking about right here. And then this is why I really wanted to show you guys, you know, Lauren's whole collection like this, because normally fabric like this you would see in some of the most amazing showrooms in New York and all over the country really. And generally those are sold only to the trade, which means you would only be able to buy them through a designer. And that's why I think this is such a treat, Lauren, because you've finally given people such a beautiful high-end line that anyone can access, and that's pretty amazing. You're supposed to say, I know, I'm a genius and I'm a brilliant salesperson. You're like, yeah, I did. It just came, it was like breathing. Duh, I did it. No, it's, we're not live. We can edit anything out.
I guess what I was thinking is I have seen people complain about the price. So, I mean, it's a challenge to, I know, I've gotten actually, you know, I understand it. So it's $120 a yard right now. And so there are some people who are like, I would never pay $120 a yard for fabric. And I totally get that. But then there are other people who know that these sort of boutique lines can really go upwards, way upwards of that. And they kind of appreciate the price point. So I think I was just kind of, I didn't really know.
Are you in shock? No, you're in shock because no, I mean, I'll tell you, I'll be Lauren's salesperson. This fabric in a showroom through a designer after you pay a designer's markup and hourly rate is easily 2 or 3 times this. And the other thing that I love about your fabric is it's really, really fine linen. So it's, you know, it's gorgeous. And I think so often people forget, you know, you get what you pay for, right?
Yeah.
So it's
Belgium, and yeah.
And you know, when you're printing on, you know, high-end Belgian linen like this and using the finest dyes, the other thing that I think people need to remember when they're investing in fabric is this fabric is going to fade evenly. It's not going to dry rot. Do you know what I mean? It's going to stand the test of time. So you're not throwing, you know, good money after bad. This is really an investment, and I mean, I love it. I'll sell you, girl, I'll sell your fabric all day long. I know a good thing when I'm serious. When I saw this, I was like, hallelujah, because I think it really is hard for people to get beautiful fabric like this that's not just to the trade.
Yep, it is.
So, bravo, bravo. And And then this is that cute little, what was the name of it again, Lauren? That cute fabric that was on the pillows?
Squid flower.
I almost called it octopus flower.
We have interesting names for it in the studio.
No, they're all, I bet you do. Delete, cut. All right, let's go to the book. On that note, we're gonna go to the book. Hey, here's the book. Where's the book that I had? Because I want to show the readers my art history book. So when I saw Lauren's, I mean, this is why I love her too. Just the attention to detail, even the cover of this book is so flawless, and I think it would look so beautiful displayed, right? Are you so proud?
Oh, I hope so.
It's so beautiful. So I was showing Lauren earlier, this is my mom's art history book, and these old books had this beautiful linen. Is this, how old's my mom? Ready, Mom? I'm gonna date you. I wanna say this is from the 50s. Not the 40s, but the 50s. And all these books did have that gorgeous linen. And so Lauren has this beautiful, it looks like these old school linen books, and even this gorgeous logo. So I'm really excited about this for you. How long did it take to get this all pulled together? Hold on, I gotta drop the book.
It was probably about, I want to say it was about a year and a half. Am I saying that right? I think it was about a year and a half, the whole process from, so I guess I think about a year and a half.
And so were you working on this book while you were pregnant too?
So I started working on the book basically right around the time when I got pregnant. So I had like the book and the baby at the same time. So we had done like the proposal and all of that stuff the summer before, and then in the fall, we had our contract with Abrams, and then I started writing it.
That's so cute. Wait, so they really were, it really did kind of line up, right?
It lined up like exactly, like I think I sent in my last edits like the day before I went to labor. I was like, I have to finish this before she comes. So it was.
That's crazy. I think so many working moms can relate to that. Like you want to try to balance your love for your children, but also your own ambition, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
And then you just had a little girl, right?
I just had a little girl, yeah.
See, three boys and a girl. You know what that means, Lauren? It means you're never going to be just the mother-in-law.
I was really excited. I honestly thought I was going to have a fourth boy, and I was so excited about a fourth boy. Like by that point, I'm like, I love my boys, I want more boys. And then when she came, I was like, oh, like she'll come home for Christmas.
Yeah, right? I get to get manicures with her. No, it's so true. But my friends that have all boys and then had a girl, they're like, oh my God. Like, it is, it's amazing, right? Totally. No, that's really exciting. Well, back to the book. So will you talk a little bit about what the impetus was behind the book and what you really wanted to convey to readers?
So I wanted, in one sense, it was sort of just like this massive brain dump. Like I love, on my blog, I love sort of sharing little how-tos and sort of peeks into my thought process. It also helps me work things out when I'm writing. When I have to put something down and write it, I feel like at that point you sort of understand it better.
Yeah.
And so when I wanted to, but the blog is sort of like this piece here and that piece there, and this piece next month and that piece last month. So I really wanted a place where it could sort of all be together. I could cover all the decorating bases and kind of, corral it into one, book. So that was kind of the goal.
I love what you just said about how when you can write about it, you really know it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I just had this conversation with my daughter the other day. Once you can write something or explain it to someone else, it means you really understand it. And it is, it's almost, so it's probably felt like that and almost like a journal. Didn't it just feel like?
Yeah. Yeah, it was. And it was fun to explore. It was hard to put words to some of the concepts. I'll see how it goes over, but it definitely got into, it's getting into aesthetics, it gets into philosophy and that kind of thing, that when you are writing it down, it forces you to make sure that you're saying it perfectly, logically, and that, you're kind of working through all of your questions too.
That's a really good point. Like, so what were some of the instances where you felt like it was a little bit harder to work it out in your own mind?
I would say, so the book is broken into 3 parts. So the first part is sort of the basics of design, and then part 2 is called the intangibles or the je ne sais quoi design, and that was sort of like the things that are sort of harder to wrap your brain around, like how do you achieve charm? You know, there's no like perfect how-to for how to achieve charm or luxury or create mood. So I felt like the basics just kind of, you know, they flowed right out, and it was just sort of like, this is my process. I want to share it with you, whether you're a new decorator or an old decorator who just likes to peek into someone else's thought processes. But when I got into sort of the intangible section, it was more fun to write, but it was also, you know, it's just nebulous. You know, there's how do you define true charm, or how do you know, so it was interesting. It was sort of, because the book is a field guide to decorating, and so by definition of the field guide, you're basically defining all of these elements. So the book kind of forced me to define everything and put it in words. So it was a little challenging at parts.
No,
it all makes
it does make sense, and I mean that's such a brilliant concept too, and it's true. So often for designers, when you're trying to like impart an aesthetic for a client, it is. I mean, how do you achieve charm? That is such an. I mean, I'm gonna go to bed thinking about that. That's really smart. That's smart, Lauren, and I like it too that it's not just a bunch of pretty pictures. You know? So I think with this book, you guys are going to realize that not only are you getting a beautiful book, but you are going to learn something. And it's another reason why I really wanted to bring Lauren on and introduce you to her in a new way, because she is trying to help you all become your own designer, which is my goal for Hanover Avenue. Teach people how they can feather their nest and make it beautiful on their own and feel confident and not make mistakes, right?
Absolutely.
So, girl, how have we never met? I mean, seriously, it's crazy. This is the first time we've even seen each other. It's amazing, right?
It is. It's great.
Well, you're sweet to come. Let's take one big last gaze at this amazing elevation of your room.
Okay.
And you know, we're gonna have to pull together a highlight reel, Lauren, because I think some of the things that you said were so brilliant. I think the biggest takeaway from today is using a twin headboard with a queen bed, girl.
Or a double. Yeah.
I mean double. Break the rules, right? I'm so bamboozled by it that I can't say it. No, seriously, I mean, that's like, and I think so often people think these are the rules, you gotta stick with them, and I love it that you're just like, I love the headboard, I'm gonna make it work in my own space. Okay, you guys, so we were really so lucky to have Lauren. She just told me today is book day launch. That's amazing. Lauren can work for you anywhere. She is an amazing designer that works all over the country, but one of the things that we love about her is she has this great service called Parcel. So if you want to do something long distance, or if you don't have quite as large of a budget, she can pull designs together for you from afar.
Yeah.
Her book launches today, which is amazing. You can find all of her fabric on her website. We've linked you in the buying guide. And then the other thing that I'm so excited about that we've done for all of you lovely Hanover Avenue readers is you can find pieces that approximate what Lauren has chosen, recreate this look in your own house. Pay attention to Lauren's video clips so you can learn how to redo it. And Lauren, it's been a thrill. You're so sweet to do this on book launch day, girl.
Well, thank you for having me. It was really, really fun.
It was fun for me too. And so next time I'm up in DC, I'm gonna take you to coffee.
Yes.
I'll take you to lunch, not coffee.
You come over, I'll give you lunch.
No way, you have a new baby. That's not fair. I'll bring you lunch. All right, guys, thank you for watching Sweet Lauren Lease, and we will chat soon, Lauren, okay?
Thanks, Anne.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye.
You killed it!